Ciao tutti, hi and welcome to Autogefühl. Today with Holger and Cinquecento. You may say, what? A guy with more than 100 kilograms or 220 American pounds and a Fiat 500? A really tiny car built for dwarfs. Okay, this is not a Fiat 500 from 1957, the first appearance of this car. This is a completely new car built in 2017, and the first appearance of this car was in 2012, and this is a Fiat 500L, and L stands for large. More than 40% of all parts of this car are new, and we will show you in our video what parts are new, what parts are good, and where are the weaknesses of this car. It's a good development of the Fiat 500L, and I think the car has a smiley face like the predecessor, but it's a more modern face. We have a new bull bar, but what is new too, these are the new headlights and the LED daytime running lights. Let's look at the side profile. There are not so many changes. I can recognize no changes to the predecessor. This car is now called the Fiat 500L Cross, formerly known as Fiat 500L Trekking. You can buy another version formerly known as the Fiat 500L Living, and now it's called the Wagon. The difference between this car, the Cross, and the Wagon is the Cross has 5 seats and the Wagon is a car with 7 seats. So this is a massive new rear from the 500L Cross. You see, it is nothing to do with the old 500 with a 500 kilo weight car. This car weighs 1,100 kilos. What you can see here, this is the built-in the camera for the rear view. Nice detail. What's new to the colors? You can buy the new 500L in 10 different colors, in pastel or metallic colors, 10 different, and in 3 different roof colors. You can see it at this height that this car is no more a van like the 500L from the year 2012. This new version is a really crossover car. This is a key on the 500L Cross, and now we have the typical Autogefühl door handle test. Oh, I think it's quality. A look into the door. Quality plastic, much better than it was at the predecessor. This is a new designed steering wheel, and these are the seats. Both are in a mix of fabric and leatherette. Fiat calls this Technic leather, and it feels good in the hand. And now I look for my seating position. It's not electrically Okay, no problem to find quick a good position for a guy with, you know, it more than 100 kilos and 6 feet. No problem to fit in a Fiat 500. So, and this is a completely new interior design of the 500L. Completely new dashboard with a huge center element here and a 7-inch touchscreen. Here are the elements for heating and cooling. We are now connected with an Apple, with an iPhone, and good look what is possible. It's Spotify, you have your personal music with you. We can go back. Now we have some navigation. Now we have changed to the navigation what is on board of this car. It's a navigation with TomTom, and we have tried out on streets in Italy, and that have a good functionality. But if you go to Italian streets, small streets in great towns, the graphics of the navigation systems could be better. And now we can show you the rear view camera. This is it, with direction lines. A good solution. As you know, we do not make any changes with the position of the driver's seat to show you the space on the rear seats. And now I get in, and wow, this is a Fiat 500 and so much space, so much room for the knees and even over my head. That's really good. And the seats are a little bit higher than the seats in the front. Fiat calls it, it's a theater look, and it makes the visibility for the passengers on the rear seats really great in this car. So now we check the luggage compartment. I think good for a compact car. I take it out and look. There's another compartment under this for your laptop or something you have to hide. And you can give it another height. Clever solutions, I think. This is a 60-40 split. Look inside. Really good space for your luggage and more in this car. It's a turbo diesel engine with 120 horsepower. Also available gas engines, LPG and CNG, and turbo petrol engines with 105 and 120 horsepower, and a small diesel with 85 horsepower. All cars has front wheel drive and all a 6-speed manual transmission. And for the diesel with 1.3 liters, you can get optional an automated transmission. No electric and no hybrid engines available. Too early, too expensive for a car of its class, so says Fiat. But I think they are working on a platform which allows to build in electric engines in a few years. What is remarkable at this car, the 500L, I think the first impression is the visibility. Look at the unusual construction from the window. First time I saw it, I think, but after a few minutes, I think it's so good to look the front, to the side, to see so much from the streets, from the landscapes. I think this unusual construction is a good solution. This car has a wonderful roof, completely open, and it's quite like driving in a convertible. So we are still on this very bumpy roads, rough terrain, and we could talk a little about the noise in this car. Bumpy roads, did you hear anything? I think the noise cancellation of the car is quite good. It's a car for 20,000 euros. You cannot expect the noise cancellation of a Porsche about 200,000 euros. And this is really good. So I have to be careful. A lot of huge holes in the streets. We are driving a diesel with 120 horsepower and a consumption of 4.3 liters. If this is really true, we check it later. That could be a good consumption. So I hope we get to normal streets soon. To show you more of this car. What can I say about the shifting? New car, good shifting. No problem. Now we are back on normal streets, and what can I say about the suspension after these bumpy roads? I think the Cross have a very good suspension, and if you will decide to buy a car which will drive very sporty or will drive comfortable, the Cross is a car that goes definitely in comfortable driving. So, and we have another rough terrain. Nice streets here in Italy. Okay, some word about the top speed. This 120 horsepower diesel engine has a top speed from 183 kilometers per hour. But I think that's not so important for a family car. from 1 to
after 300 meters,
100 kilometers. Sprint, we have 11.5 seconds. Completely enough for a family car. You don't have to go much quicker if you have 2, 3 or 5 children on the back seats. In general, you are quick at home in this car. I need 2 minutes to understand all what I need to drive this car. And this makes it a family car too. As the consumption goes in direction comfortable, this is not a car for too much sporty driving, going fast through curves and down and uphill. It's more a car for cruising with acceptable speed. As I mentioned it's a really family car for young people. But I think the complete construction of this car makes it a good car for older people too. They like this higher seat position as we have it here in the Fiat 500 Cross Drive. We look at the consumption, 7.1 liters. It's more than the 4.3 liters Fiat says as general consumption. Okay. Test driving is very hard for the car with high speeds, short sprints, and I think you can drive this car with 5.8 or 5.9 liters. 4.3 liters is a theoretical value, I think. So, that's our first impressions of driving this not completely new Fiat 500, but a car I think that is in the development for Fiat a great step forward. So with us is Giorgio Neri, head of 500 family. This is more than a facelift, but not a complete new car.
Yeah, basically it's the renewal of the 500L. 500L was launched in 2012 and it represented the first step of the creation of the 500 family, which then again continued with the 500X in 2015. Has become immediately leader in the MPV segment, compact MPV segment in Europe in 2012, and is still leader today with over 25% of market share. But we thought at Fiat that it deserved a renewal, it deserved a major uplift, both in the exteriors and in the interiors. And the guidelines we gave ourselves to make this change was basically three. To give a more consistent family feeling with the 500, to emphasize the character of the Cross, and that's why we also changed the name of the old tracking in the new Cross, and we introduced new technical elements like the new mode selector to enhance the performance and the capability of the car in slippery conditions and in slight off-road condition. And we improved a lot the technology of the car by introducing a big 7-inch touchscreen with capacitive technology and having CarPlay and Android Auto in order to mirror the favorite application of the smartphone directly on the screen.
Is a facelift more a question of exterior design or did you more on the interior?
As I said, we worked a lot in creating consistency and affinity with the 500. So working outside in enhancing the smile and the chrome character of the original compact 500, and inside to improve the feeling of a real first car for the family with a good quality, with a good comfort, and with a very high level of technology.
Could you explain the changes in the front?
Yeah. As you can, I would start, let's say here we are in front of a cross, and basically working on the cross, the idea was to create a lot of consistency with the family feeling of the 500X cross. So we worked on the bottom part with a wider skid plate and a wider grille in order to get a better presence on the road of the car. Then we worked on the upper portion with these 4 cannons, we call them, no? So the guns, and the satin treatment of the moustache, which gives the idea of a very strong, tough and aggressive looking car. See, this is as far as the cross is concerned.
I think it's a kind of bull bar.
Yeah, it's a real bull bar, and the purpose in terms of design is to enhance the presence of the car in terms of width on the road, to give a strong, tough and more masculine feeling. This is all for the front. Of course, all the modifications were connected with the side and the rear in order to get this tough, technical and let's say crossover look, which is actually what the market today wants and what the customer are looking for.
So, thank you so far. So, Giorgio Neri, the Cross has, for me, a strong modern look, a crossover look. This is a normal 500 large, and I think this with this chrome applications elements, a little bit vintage look.
Yeah, let's say, as we said before, we worked on the Cross to enhance the tough, masculine and contemporary modern looking. In case of the urban one, we have been working in a different way. We have been working to create the consistencies with the small, the compact 500, the original one, in different ways. Of course, the first thing, the first glance, let's say, gives the feeling of a car with more chrome, but it's much more than that. In reality, all the front portion has been completely redesigned, and especially this part, the front portion, which encompasses the moustache, the 2 chrome moustache that represents the identity and the family feeling of the 500, has been redesigned to give a more muscular and 3-dimensional shape, which is actually the same shape that the small 500 has. So we've been working both in terms of cosmetics, but also in terms of surfaces and volumes in order to get a better, stronger and more consistent looking with the 500.
Which car do you think will be sold more, the normal 500 large or the Cross?
It's a good question because on one hand the trend of the market is going towards crossovers. So the reason why 500L from the launch, since launch, has been selling so well is that in a way people cross-shop 500L with roomy crossovers already today. And we wanted to emphasize that by the new Cross. So on one hand we think that the new Cross and the weight on sales of the new Cross will grow, for sure. On the other hand, we think that this is the, let's say, original soul of the car, and there are still a lot of customers who want roominess, who want comfort, who want a good-looking first car for the family. So we will think that probably there will be something like 50-50 or so.
Maybe a question in which country you sold the car. Italians love more this car, and in other countries there's a Cross?
Yeah, this is another good question. For sure, Italians like both souls of the car. They like this and they like the Cross. In the other countries, we think that having worked on Cross will help the car to sell even better on the Cross body.
So, thank you so much. A few words about the prices. You can buy this current car, a 500L, for 18,000 euros. The tracking version starts with 20,000 euros, and this Cross version will have the same price, 20,000 euros starting price, as the tracking version. New cars, old prices, I think, thumbs up. What is our conclusion? Many people say vans are cars without future, and Fiat understands it and built this car a classical new compact or crossover SUV. It's an affordable car with an iconic design, and I think it may be an option for young families. And the Fiat 500 is not more a car for dwarfs only. It's a car for big people too. So, thank you for listening and viewing Autogefühl. See you next time.